Stuart here from HobbyKing Live, here to give you a product profile on the brand new release from Durafly. It is, of course, the Sky Mule. Now, some of you may be asking what a product profile is. Well, let me tell you very quickly. Essentially, when a premier product comes to the market, such as this, we follow up very quickly after release with a product profile. In that product profile, we take it out of the box, show you exactly what's in the box, and we talk through some of the defining features of the product. In this case, it's the Sky Mule, and as you would have known from the material that's out there already, this is a great model for, there we go, FPV. So we're going to talk about that, we're going to talk about the model in general, but more importantly, I'm going to quickly take you through the build process and the features, and then we're going to go out and show it in a real world environment. I'm going to fully load it up with some very nice FPV equipment, and then fly as a sports model as well, and you and I can explore it together. So let's get on with the build. Okay, so here we are. We've got the contents out of the box, and a very nice box it is too. You can see there behind us. And we're going to quickly go through the contents of the box, and then we will start the build. And as we go through the builds, if there's points of interest, we'll stop the build, I'll tell them to you, then we'll carry on, and then we'll get on to the FPV installation and the sports flying and the FPV flying too. Because let's be honest, that's the really interesting stuff. Alright, so on the box, it very clearly says 1500mm wingspan. It is indeed that, that's 59 inches. In the box, you get a plethora of very, very nicely finished components. The decals on it are pre-applied, they're water slide types. Now, if you wish, if you are the type of modeler that likes to make the model their own and paint it up, you can do. These pre-applied water slide decals, although very durable, with some low tack tape, they can come off with a little bit of time and effort. So if you want to paint it up, do that. As for the rest of the content of the box, you've got all the accessories. You've got the undercarriage over here. You've got the counter-rotating propellers, because these do counter-rotate inwards. It's how the Sky Mule is designed to fly best. Skis. Now, skis I would have mentioned in the daily, and you would have seen in the product video. It's not quite the season for them right now, but if you haven't already tried it, try flying skis off of sand. That's a lot of fun. Then when the winter comes, try it on the snow. We are actually going to try and do touch and goes on water with the skis, just because you can. Then along with the other accessories, you get the two wing spars for the outer wing panels. We'll quickly cover how they go together in just a minute. And of course, because it is Durafly, you get a full color instruction manual. And I know it's a good manual because I wrote it myself. There we go, there is some examples of the manual. All very good, you'll see yourself when you open it up. In fact, you can actually go to the product page and download this manual. It's on the product file tab. So we are almost ready to start the build, and it is a very quick build, but I just want to go through a few of the key components and the key features that make, in my mind, and I'm sure in your mind, the Sky Mule so great. Now, of course, the biggest thing, it's always the easiest thing to talk about, the fuselage, and it is big. It's got lots and lots of space. Very cavernous, very bulbous. You can fit a lot of good electronics equipment in there with ease, especially with this barn door type access on the side. That's magnetically held, great, lots of room and lots of access for your electronics, as I said. Take the sports canopy off and you have instant and very clean access to where the battery goes. The battery does sit here for a good CNG. Now, the other feature of this is the FPV tray. The idea being you can replace the sports canopy, and on top of this you can put your pan and tilt FPV camera or your HD GoPro or whatever you want to use for your HD recording. Now, I say that because the nose also comes off if you wish. It's just tack glued onto the factory. Get that off there. And here is the purpose-made slot for a pure FPV camera. The great thing about this position here, it's out of the way of the propellers, the nose, everything. It's a completely unobstructed line of sight for your FPV camera. All very, very good. Very quickly, I'll turn it over. There's one other molding here. That's for an additional FPV camera. If you're running the switcher system that we sell, you can switch between the systems as you fly. Very cool. We'll come on to that when we get it out with FPV equipment just a little later on. One final cool feature, this mold here, it's actually a cutout. This is again tack glued out of the box, so you can just pull that up there. This is designed for and is perfect for video transmitters. As we know, video transmitters can get really rather hot, so with your video transmitter up here, first of all, it's out of the way of all the important electronics, that's good. Second of all, it's in airflow, even better, so it will stay cool. And of course, the major component of any aeroplane is, of course, the wing. Three-piece wing on the Sky Mule, breaks down very easily for transportation. I'll take the center section out very quickly here. Again, out of its nicely sealed bag. You've got the Durafly 30 amp speed controllers pre-installed. You've got the Bell type 1100 kV motors pre-installed. You've got the Y lead for the motor, that's there. This lead here is in fact the Y lead for the aileron servos. Now, the outer panels use these type thumb screws to attach to the pegs that you see here. All very quick, all very convenient. And I'll tell you a little tip about assembling the wing correctly when we get onto the build, which we're going to do right now. Now we're part way through the building of the wing. It's very straightforward, but one thing I did want to bring to your attention, a very handy tip to make sure the wings are exactly as they should be. With each wing panel, because it's a 3-part wing, you get this aluminium wing spar. Now this is slightly dihedral, so you've got to make sure it's inserted the correct way. An easy way to find out what way is up and what way is down, if you roll it on a flat surface, if I bring you down here. So I'm going to roll it now. Now you can see as I roll it, you can see how the tip of the spar rises. That's great, that's the dihedral. So roll it back, and at the point that it's at its highest, which is about there, sorry I've got a pen in my mouth, I'm going to mark it. I'm going to mark it. What this means, when I slide it into the center section, there we go, I know that this mark here needs to be facing up. And then I know I've got my dihedral angle correct. Okay, I'm going to finish putting on the rest of the wing. It does just slot on very easily, and then we'll continue with the build. Now we're just getting to the end of the wing assembly. The panels are on, that's great. I'm about to put the undercarriage on. A quick tip for you here. This is the landing gear leg, that slots in like so, and then it has a plate that screws on, securing that in place. Now to remove any chance of wobble or stop in the landing gear, you can see there's a little bit of shaking there. What I'm actually suggesting you can do, it's very quick, very easy, just get some tape like this, put a little bit around this horizontal piece of the landing gear axle, and then when you slot that in, it's going to be really, really tight, like so. And now it's really stiffened up that undercarriage, which is exactly what you want. One final little tip to look out for, these wheels, as you can see, that one spins nice and freely. This one is just a little bit tight. So before you get the undercarriage on, get a 2mm Allen key and just loosen that off a bit. Bring that out a bit more. And then tighten it again. And now you can see the wheel spins much more freely. One more point of note on the wing is the orientation for the counter-rotating propellers. Now they can counter-rotate inwards or outwards, it doesn't really matter. But something to look out for, it does mention in the instruction manuals, is the leading edge of the propeller. That is the part of the propeller that is forward if you hold it flat. So for inward rotating, for example, you have the leading edge of the propeller going into the center of the model. So if I put that on here and here, you can see that the leading edge, the top part of each blade, is facing in towards the model. Now, in fact, you can fly the Sky Mule with just both standard rotation propellers. It's a handy note because the Sky Mule uses the same propeller as the Auto G, and you can run this in a standard rotation format. So the wing is basically done. I'll put that to the side. Now we're moving on to the fuselage. A very quick tip for the elevator. First of all, you'll want to loosen off your hinges or your foam hinges on the elevator there. That's easily done just by very gently bending them back and forth. Second thing, just to add a bit of security, the carbon spar that runs through the center of the elevator. Great, it's very good. All towel surfaces should have carbon spars, and this one has. But for an extra bit of security, you might just want to run a little bit of super glue just down here. There we go, you can see it running in there. Just a little bit. Just for that extra bit of peace of mind, run it all the way along the length of the spar and make sure that spar is not going to come out of the elevator. This is the glue that's supplied in the kit, and the secret to this is to put it on relatively thinly, but then let it dry for just a minute or so, then put your towel plane on. It will stick firm. So that's the assembly done, basic assembly. What we're going to do now is come back in part 2, rig it up with the very nice FPV equipment we've got for the Sky Mule, and you'll see just how versatile the Sky Mule is as both a FPV platform and a general all-round twin sports model when we take it out and fly it and have some fun with it. Assembly was very quick and straightforward. Wings do just slot on. The only gluing you need to do is to glue on the main tail and these little covers on the undercarriage. And if you follow those little tips that I gave you, you will have a solid flying Sky Mule. So see you for part 2 when we take this out full FPV and otherwise and have some fun.